Hi, welcome to the weekly Labour report from the Democratic Alliance. Thank you for tuning in once again. I really appreciate it. There's been a lot in the news about law. In particular, there's been all sorts of criminal complaints that have now translated into people being arrested, which is good. So that'll be probably dominating the field for a long time. And at least we are starting to see some high profile arrests. We need to see the real top dogs get arrested soon. And I know that the Labour field is taking a bit of a back door with regard to this. This is Saturday, the 3rd of October, 2020. We're seeing obviously businesses coming back to work. It looks like almost everyone is back to work, obviously those that still have jobs. So this is Michael Bagram, Democratic Alliance Labour spokesperson, and I fortunately have been very careful to watch what is going on. We still have problems with the UIF, the Unemployment Insurance Fund, but there is a bit of a change, as we reported last week, in that Acting Commissioner Bronkhorst has been fantastic, and quite frankly I'm getting answers now to my emails within 15-20 minutes. Things are looking up on that score, and I'm not going to harp on the problems that we're still experiencing with the UIF, but obviously if people still have problems, feel free to email me on michael@bagrams.co.za. I will in fact be answering you as quickly as I can. I'm still getting 300 to 400 emails a day, but I am getting around to answering. Just a note to say that the legislation, the UIF legislation, is absolutely clear, and I've been getting a lot of these complaints. There have been consultants, labour lawyers, labour people, I don't know what they are, charging people to submit their UIF claims. You cannot do that. In terms of the law, it's illegal. You cannot charge someone to submit their UIF or even to assist them in putting it together. It's illegal. You will be reported to the Department of Labour, who might in fact in turn report that onto the police. So please, if you're watching this and you know someone else who's had to pay for their services to claim the UIF, that's wrong, it's illegal, it's out of order, it's immoral. People get very little anyway from the UIF. Their payment is small, and to expect them to pay you because you are now claiming for it, that's not acceptable. So don't even think about charging people to claim UIF, and if you're one of the culprits, please don't do that again. And if you're one of the people that have been hurt by it, please report that to me. I'll report it on to the Acting Commissioner immediately. There are two other things that do need to be reported on. Firstly, the Labour Portfolio Committee in Parliament is going to be sitting soon again. Parliament goes back to work next week. Hopefully we'll start seeing the end of the virtual meetings and have actual physical meetings. That'll be good because we need to actually face people and cross-examine them. The portfolio committees are very good oversight committees, and we need to challenge the Minister of Employment and Labour on all sorts of things, and I need to see him face to face and to actually put in those challenges. And we at the Democratic Alliance will not let you down. We will follow up on every single complaint that does come through. The first thing is there's changes, amendments that are coming through to the employment equity legislation. We need to challenge that. If anyone's interested in appearing before the committee, let me know. And you can get hold of me at michael@bagrams.co.za. I'll try and arrange for you to make representations directly at the portfolio committee meeting. The real issue there is that the minister is wanting to change that legislation to allow the minister to be able to set those targets by regulation instead of going back to Parliament. So you can imagine if you, for instance, in the motor industry, or in the iron and steel industry, the minister can, by the slay of a hand, just create a new target for your industry as to how many people you must employ on the previously disadvantaged or disabled or whatever. And they can then set these targets for you which is actually really destructive. We have just heard that we've lost another 2.3 million people in the workplace. That's something that we need to report on as well. But the bottom line is the workforce is shrinking. South Africa's at 50% unemployment. In the age group 15 to 24, we think it's just over 60% unemployment. So it's 6 out of every 10 of the youngsters cannot find a job, even though they're looking for one. They just can't do it. So it'd be good for you to come forward and comment on the employment equity legislation. That's important. There's another piece of legislation we also need to report on, and that's quite simple, but it's the compensation fund. There's lots of things there that do need study and look into it. I know the Democratic Alliance is studying it very carefully. We will let you have our comments in due course, but one thing that strikes me is that the compensation fund want to absolve themselves for any accident that takes place to work or from work, and that you must send the complaint off to the motor vehicle accident fund. Well, you know that'll just die, and the motor vehicle accident fund is almost bankrupt. You'll probably never see your money, and so the Department of Labour is trying to opt out of paying for people who get injured on their way to work or on their way from work. That's wrong. We must fight it. We need to protect the workers of South Africa. We certainly need to protect the workers of South Africa. They still, unfortunately, have to travel by taxi. Our train service is useless. So please watch this space. You will be able also to make your comments when it comes before the Parliamentary Portfolio Committee, and I look forward to coming back to you and telling you then. Just finally, quickly to tell you that there's a bit of a mess at the CCMA administration at the moment. They are getting dozens and dozens of cases every hour. I'm waiting to see the statistics of how many cases have come forward, but as you can well imagine, if you've had another 4 million people over the lockdown period being retrenched, of that 4 million, how many have claimed at the CCMA? Possibly 40,000, if not more. And I don't know how they are able to cope. I know the administration is under enormous pressure at the CCMA. That's the Commission for Conciliation, Mediation and Arbitration. But because they're under that pressure, we have to obviously give them a bit of leeway and a bit of slack. I know I'm having a little bit of difficulty sometimes with some of the officers. We're not getting information as quickly as possible, but the CCMA is still probably the crown jewel in the crown of the Department of Employment and Labour. So that mess needs to be sorted out quickly. One of my favourite commissioners, the senior commissioners, just had a stroke just from overwork and from tension. And we're starting to see a lot of commissioners telling me this. I was down there both on Thursday and Friday at the CCMA, and the commissioners are telling me that they're struggling to keep up. They're getting 3-4 cases a day, and if a case doesn't settle, then they've got to run it, and they're just piling up, and everyone's under enormous pressure. It's not the same friendly place it used to be. So a shout out to the staff of the CCMA. I wish you well, I wish you luck, and have great strength. So thank you for listening to me today, Saturday the 3rd of October 2020. Labour spokesperson, Democratic Alliance, Michael Bagram. I really appreciate it.